Welcome to the 4 Bells, and here we are at the beginning of our new 6-week cycle. And in this 6-week cycle, we're going to be looking predominantly at not only squatting and leg strength, but also a big focus on squat mobility. So if you're one of our members, you would have received your email by now, which says that we are going to be comparing and contrasting our position in the overhead squat in terms of a mobility practice. So what we'd like you to do is ideally take a picture of your overhead squat from the side, profile, and then one from the front, and then we're going to compare and contrast that in 6 weeks' time. Of course, you don't have to show it to us if you don't want to. It's just for your reference, so hopefully you can see some mobility improvements. I'm very aware, particularly during this trying time in the middle of a pandemic, not to overload people with tons of crazy homework. So that means to start off with our mobility practice, we are going to keep it incredibly simple, and it's only going to be for 2 minutes a day. Not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, 2 minutes, which means I recommend while you're watching TV at home, or if you're waiting for the kettle to boil, whatever it happens to be, if you've got a short window of time, we can play around with our mobility. So first things first, that is, when we're doing our mobility, which I assume you'll be doing at home, you need no shoes and socks on, which means, ideally, you've got tattooed toes. That really helps as well. What we're going to do is get into a squat position and just hang out for 2 minutes. So that means that if I'm hanging out in my squat position, foot position is going to be really dependent on how your hip structure is made. So you might see people in the gym with the feet really close, toes straight forward. You might see people with feet really wide, toes flared out. It's about finding what works best for you. Either way, when we're getting down into these deep, dark squat positions, I would think that no matter what the direction the toes point in, the knee is in line with those toes. So we're all pointing in the same direction, we don't have anything collapsed. From here, I'm going to try and let the hamstring swish onto the calf as much as possible. And then from there, I'm going to try and sit as upright as possible. Of course, if this is very tough for you, we can use something to hold on to. So for a lot of people, I'll probably say the biggest thing is tight ankles, so people will feel like they're going to fall back. If you feel like you're going to fall back, hold on to something. So this could be holding on to the edge of your coffee table. It could be holding on to the banister at the bottom of the stairs. Whatever it is, we're going to try and hang out for 2 minutes. And when that 2 minutes is done, rather than just falling backwards onto our bums, if we can, nice and slowly, we engage, nice and control, and we stand up with posture, with this wonderful, with composure, with control, and maybe with a few groany noises. So that's the homework for this week. 2 minutes of just hanging out in a squat. Simple.